The storm had finally cleared, leaving only the faint scent of charged ozone clinging to the jagged cliffs. Our expedition had landed on Arcanus 9, a world carved by canyons and glowing rivers that cut through the black stone like veins of liquid light. I was the team's linguist, though in truth, we hadn't expected to find anything here but silence. And yet she stood before me. An alien woman, tall, elegant, her skin faintly luminescent as though etched with constellations. Her eyes were strange pools of shifting color, like nebulae collapsing inward. She wasn't hostile. Not exactly. But she wasn't welcoming either. She had approached silently from the canyon shadows, watching me as though I had intruded on something sacred. I felt the pull of her gaze, a pressure in the air. When I finally spoke, it wasn't a greeting. It wasn't even a plea for understanding. It was my name. A whisper, barely carried across the canyon wind. Kael. The effect was immediate and terrifying. Her eyes widened. She stumbled back, her lips parting as though I had just hurled a curse into the air. Then, with a voice that trembled like a blade held too tightly, she said, "That name is forbidden." The canyon seemed to darken, the humming rivers dimming as if even the world itself recoiled from the sound. Froze. The rest of my team, scattered across the ridge with their scanners, had not heard the word. Only she had. Only she reacted. And in that moment I knew two things. She recognized the name. And the recognition terrified her. Middle, the banned-name. We camped that night beneath the fractured cliffs, though I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her face. When dawn broke, if one could call the shifting crimson glow of Arcanus 9's sun a dawn, she was waiting. Standing at the edge of camp, silent, like a sentinel carved of light and fear. I stepped away from the others, heart racing, and approached. "Why did my name frighten you?" I asked. She tilted her head, regarding me with something between sorrow and suspicion. Her voice was low, musical, but sharp. "Because that name belongs to no human. It belongs to a destroyer." A shiver cut through me. "Destroyer?" She nodded. Kael was not a man. Kael was the unmaker of worlds. The one who tried to claim the celestial throne. I almost laughed, it was absurd. But the earnest terror in her eyes silenced me. "You mistake me for someone else," I said, though even as the words left my lips, I wasn't sure I believed them. "I've never been here before. I've never even heard of your throne." Her gaze softened, but only slightly. "You carry the name. Names are not accidents, human. On this world they are destiny. That name was sealed, erased, forbidden to be spoken. And yet you whispered it like an ember into dry grass." Her words haunted me. A part of me wanted to run, to return to the ship and leave Arcanus 9 behind. But another part, the reckless part, was drawn deeper. That night when my crew slept, she came again. This time she brought me to the canyon's heart. The place was unlike anything I had ever seen. Towering spires of crystal rose from the earth, each humming with a resonance that vibrated through my bones. At the center was a monolith, black as void, etched with glyphs that flickered faintly like dying stars. "This," she said, her voice trembling, "is where Kael was defeated. This is where his name was bound." I stepped closer, my breath shallow. The glyphs on the monolith seemed to stir at my presence, glowing brighter, pulsing like a heartbeat. "Why are you showing me this?" I whispered. Her answer was almost a plea. "Because if you truly are not him, then you must help us. For the bindings weaken. The name stirs again. And if it awakens fully, nothing will survive. Rising conflict. The truth of the name." Days blurred. My team thought I was cataloging rock formations, but in truth, I spent every spare moment with her. Her name, I learned, was Sarah. She was the last of the Ilari, guardians bound to protect the monolith. She taught me fragments of her language, songs that resonated with the crystals and opened passages through the canyon. She showed me the scars of her people's battles, the ruins of cities ground to dust beneath Kael's armies. But the more I listened, the more unease stirred in me. Every description of Kael felt familiar, not in detail but in spirit. A strategist who used both words and weapons. A leader whose voice carried weight. A figure who sought not destruction for its own sake, but control. And though I had no memory of such deeds, something deep within me recoiled each time she spoke his name, as though a part of me did remember. One night, unable to bear the silence any longer, I confessed. Sarah, what if I am him? Not the same but some echo. Some fragment carried forward into me. Her face paled, her glow dimming. Then all we have left is despair, she whispered. Because the bindings were never meant to hold him twice. The awakening. It happened on the 7th night. The monolith's pulse, once faint, became thunderous. The glyphs blazed, casting shadows like writhing serpents across the canyon walls. My team panicked, fleeing toward the ship. Only Sarah and I remained, rooted in place by the sheer weight of it. The stone split. From within came not a figure, but a presence, a consciousness vast and hungry. It poured into the air like smoke, wrapping around me, whispering in tongues I should not have understood but somehow did. Oh. The name rolled like thunder through my skull. You have returned. Sarah screamed for me to resist, her hands clutching my shoulders, her light flaring in desperation. But the voice was already inside me, threading through my thoughts, pulling at something long buried. Visions seared my mind. Fleets of burning ships, worlds collapsing, my hand raised like a conductor commanding a symphony of ruin. And behind it all, the intoxicating certainty of power, the belief that I was meant to rule, to bend the stars themselves. No, I choked, trembling. That's not me. I'm not you. But the presence only laughed. Names are destiny. You carry mine. You are mine. Sarah's voice cut through the haze, sharp and fierce. Fight it, Kael. You are not bound by what came before. You are not him. You are you. Her words were a lifeline. My breath shuddered, my fists clenched. The presence pressed harder, promising power, glory, dominion. But then I looked at her. At Sarah, standing defiant though her people were gone, though her world was scarred. And I realized something. Power had never been what I wanted. What I wanted was meaning. Connection. To matter, not to command. I screamed my denial, ripping free from the visions. The presence howled, lashing at me with fire and shadow, but Sarah raised her hands and sang. The canyon itself answered. Crystals blazed, rivers of light surged, and together we forced the presence back into the monolith. The stone sealed, the glyphs dimming once more. The silence that followed was suffocating, ending a new name. I collapsed, shaking, my voice hoarse. Sarah knelt beside me, her glow faint but steady. You fought it, she whispered. You broke the destiny of the name. I laughed weakly, though tears stung my eyes. Then maybe I should never speak it again. She tilted her head, thoughtful. Then gently she said, perhaps not. But a name is not only a chain, it can be a choice. If you choose to bear it differently, then it is no longer his. It is yours.